You wake up hungry. A bird wakes up hungry too. The bird finds food. You check your bank account. That difference changed the planet. Every animal on Earth must survive. But humans are the only species that invented a system where survival often requires money. You need money for food, money for shelter, money for water, money for warmth, money for medicine. Sometimes even money to move from one place to another. At first glance, this seems completely unnatural. After all, no wolf receives a bill, no squirrel pays rent, no eagle carries a wallet. So how did humans end up living this way? The answer begins long before money existed, long before cities, long before farming, long before civilization itself. For most of human history, people lived as hunter-gatherers. Small groups wandered across landscapes searching for food. If you found berries, you ate them. If you caught an animal, you shared it. If someone needed help, the group often stepped in. Survival depended on cooperation. Anthropologists call this a gift economy, not because people were generous all the time, because keeping track of every favor was impossible. Imagine hunting a deer. The animal provides far more meat than one person can eat. If you keep everything for yourself, much of it rots. If you share it, others remember. Later, they may share with you. The system runs on trust, and trust became one of humanity's greatest superpowers. The evolutionary biologist Robert Trivers helped explain this idea in 1971. He called it reciprocal altruism. You help someone now, they help you later. Over time, everyone benefits. But there was a problem. This system works best in small groups. What happens when a village becomes a town? What happens when strangers outnumber friends? What happens when you trade with someone you may never see again? Trust starts to break down. Humans needed a new solution. The earliest cities appeared roughly 6,000 years ago. Places like ancient Mesopotamia brought thousands of people together. Farmers grew food, builders made houses, potters made containers, metalworkers made tools. Suddenly, everyone specialized. That sounds efficient. But it creates a strange problem. What if the baker needs shoes, and the shoemaker does not want bread? This is known as the coincidence of wants problem. Trade becomes complicated. Civilizations needed something everyone would accept. That something eventually became money. The earliest forms looked nothing like the bills in your pocket. People used shells, beads, silver, barley, even giant stone discs in some cultures. The object mattered less than the agreement behind it. Money works because people believe it works. Think about that for a moment. A piece of paper has little value by itself, yet millions of people exchange real labor for it every day. Why? Because everyone trusts that others will accept it later. Money is not really paper. It is shared belief. The historian Yuval Noah Harari describes money as one of humanity's most successful collective fictions. Not fiction because it is fake, fiction because its power exists inside human minds. And that power changed everything. Trade expanded across continents, empires grew, cities exploded in size, innovation accelerated. A farmer no longer needed to make everything personally. Money allowed strangers to cooperate on an unprecedented scale. Trade expanded across continents, empires grew, cities exploded in size, innovation accelerated. A farmer no longer needed to make everything personally. Money allowed strangers to cooperate on an unprecedented scale, but every solution creates new problems. As societies became more complex, access to resources increasingly flowed through money. Food was no longer something you gathered, it became something you purchased. Shelter became property. Land gained prices, labor gained prices, even time gained prices. Gradually, survival itself became connected to economic systems. If an ancient hunter failed to find food, nature was the obstacle. If a modern worker cannot afford food, the obstacle is often economic. The challenge changed forms, but the struggle remained. Does that mean money is unnatural? Not exactly. Humans are natural. Human cooperation is natural. Human imagination is natural. Money emerged from those abilities. In a strange way, money is simply trust made visible, a tool for organizing millions of strangers, a shortcut for cooperation. Without it, modern civilization would likely collapse. Yet there is something unsettling about it. The numbers in a bank account can determine whether someone eats, whether they sleep indoors, whether they receive medical care. Few inventions have shaped human life more deeply, and almost none are so invisible. Right now, billions of people will wake up tomorrow and spend most of their day pursuing something that does not physically exist. Not food, not water, not shelter, but the symbol that grants access to them: money. The bird outside your window never worries about a paycheck. It searches for survival directly. Humans chose a different path. We built a world where trust became currency, where belief became value, where invisible numbers move real resources. And the strangest part is this: money is often described as wealth, but its true purpose is cooperation. A dollar bill is not food, it is not a house, it is not medicine, it is a promise that millions of strangers will work together. The reason humans became the only species that pays to live is not because we escaped nature, it is because we used our imagination to reshape it. And now we spend our lives inside a system built from shared belief, a system so powerful that it can feel more real than the physical world itself. The next time you look at money, remember what it really is: not paper, not numbers, not wealth. It is evidence that billions of human minds agreed on the same story, and that story became civilization.